even I didn't explain to you during the class. Yeah, this is just for extra information. Zeeman effect tak payah tak payah. Okay. Chemical interference important. So you need to understand what is the source of chemical interference. Apa punca-punca chemical interference ni, and then what is the effect of chemical interference to the spectrum, and then how to correct it. Macam mana nak selesaikan masalah. Because we expect you to know. This is the basic skill that you must have nanti masa you kerja nanti. So by increasing temperature, by adding release agent, by adding protective agent, and then why, penjelasan dia ada dalam sini lah. Okay, I think that's all for AAS. Ada soalan? Semua faham? Ada soalan tak? If you still have question, I will open a forum in Putra Blast. You can ask in that forum. Okay. In case after reading, then you still don't understand, then we can discuss in the forum. Okay, that's AAS. Okay, kalau tak ada soalan, we move to introduction. Tak payahlah. Introduction ni ada apa? Sekejap. Introduction, actually, I cover AAS. AAS, ini tak payahlah, maybe. Introduction. Introduction, tak payahlah. IR. IR is a huge topic. Okay? Huge topic. That's why IR, kita tanya dalam ujian 1, dalam ujian 2 pun kita tanya. So this is an indication that in your final exam, soalan IR, kita ada beberapa soalan dalam final exam. This is huge topic, 133 slides, 133 slides. Ujian 1 kita tanya, ujian 2 kita tanya. So pay attention. Okay. So for IR, apa yang you kena perhatikan? Yang pertama, of course, spectrum. Kita dah buat tutorial. Please buat balik. Pastikan you all faham dan fasih macam mana nak how to translate the spectrum into structure. We did the tutorial. Do it again. Do it again. That's one. Second, you need to understand why certain functional group appears at certain wave number. Contoh, OH. Why OH appears at 3,400? Dan kenapa dia punya puncak ni besar? And you know from my lecture, dia punya puncak ni dia bergantung kepada keadaan dia. If it's pure alcohol, if the alcohol is diluted, dia punya puncak lain. Right? Puncak dia lain. Right? And then contoh lain kenapa CO double bond gives you a very strong peak, 1,700. Dia punya puncak besar dan di dekat tengah. Ini yang ujian 2 ramai tak boleh jawab. You thought that in the IR, you thought it's a CO double bond. Dalam jawaban you jawab CO double bond sebab nampak ada puncak macam dekat 1,700. Tapi actually it's not. Sebab dia punya puncak kecil je. CO ni dia punya puncak besar, dia sampai bawah. Dari atas sampai bawah, dari ceiling sampai lantai. Dari ceiling sampai lantai. That's CO. Okay. So, tak share screen. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So that's CO. Yeah. So again, you need to understand why certain functional group appears at certain wave number. Ya. Maknanya the principle lah. Yeah, the principle. And then it comes from this. Yeah. Basically everything comes from this. Yeah. From the stretching, from the bending, you need to understand that. And then it comes from this equation lah. F equal to K times X. Yeah. Okay, so ini pun you kena baca ya. Ini kena baca sebab IR ni ini Dr. Rashidi punya topik ni ya. And Dr. Rashidi likes so much about the theory ya behind IR. So you kena faham lah ya. Basically as I mentioned to you on Tuesday semua ada dalam nota kuliah, semua ada. Ya, semua soalan yang kita tanya dalam final exam semua ada dalam nota kuliah ya. Okay, so ini you kena faham ya. That everything depends on the mass, yeah, the atomic mass, yeah, and also it depends on the force constant, yeah, and the force constant ini depends on the how many bonds you have, yeah? Single bond, double bond, triple bond, yeah, dia, you know, it has different K, yeah. Kalau you ada triple bond, it has higher K lah, yeah? Maknanya dia punya force constant lagi tinggi, yeah? So macam ni lah. Macam kenapa CH 3000, kenapa CBR 650. You kena faham. You kena faham. Sebab dia punya berat, H dengan BR ni lain. H dengan BR lain. So you can see that you know, larger atom masses, lower frequency. BR ni dia punya atomic mass lagi besar kan. Of course, cara dia stretch pun lagi lambat lah. Dia punya stretching itu lagi lambat ya, sebab BR ni besar tapi H ni kecil, that's why CH appears at 3000, BR appears at 650 ya. You jangan hafal tapi you faham kenapa. Kalau you faham kenapa, nanti soalan kita nak pusing macam mana pun you still can answer. Okay. Dipole moment, ini pun penting ya, sebab inilah yang membezakan IR dengan Raman. Apa yang kita nampak dalam IR is semua all functional groups that have dipole moment. But in IR, we can see molecules without dipole moment. Yeah, so molecules we can see in Raman cannot be seen in IR. Molecule that we see in IR cannot be seen in Raman. So they complement each other. Okay. So yeah, all the values kita akan bagi table tu ya, sama macam ujian 1, ujian 2, ujian akhir pun kita akan bagi table tu, so not to worry so much, but the principle tu you kena faham why certain functional group appears at certain wave number. Okay, so ini ada banyak benda lah nak kena baca basically a lot of theory lah. Okay, ini OH kenapa dia ada yang tajam, kenapa dia ada yang lebar. So basically it depends on the condition of the solution. Yeah. Pure liquid, dilute solution, very dilute solution. Ini kalau nak hafal susah lah, but you need to understand. This is the reason why. Okay, right? Okay, any question about IR? Siapa yang tak faham? Any question about IR? So far no. Okay, so far no bukan maknanya langsung tak ada soalan So far no. Nanti baca ada soalan, you ask me. We discuss in the forum. All right, what else IR luminescence. Okay, luminescence ni ada satu je yang you kena faham. Satu je. Ni. You kena faham Jablonski diagram. Because all the discussion in luminescence, everything is about Jablonski diagram. Apa beza fluorescence dengan phosphorescence? Inilah. Yeah. So pay attention to this. Jangan hafal. Kita tak akan suruh you lukis Jablonski diagram. Jangan hafal. Oh, dia ada garis, berapa garis ini. Jangan. You understand. Right? Especially the difference between phosphorescence and fluorescence. Because this is the summary. Yeah, this is the summary. So dia punya penjelasan ada kat bawah. So ini ada 42 slides. So satu slides ni kita jelaskan dalam slides yang bawah-bawah ni. Okay, but basically it's about this. Itu sahaja. You faham ni? Kenapa fluorescence happen? Kenapa phosphorescence happen? Apa beza phosphorescence dengan fluorescence? Even we ask you during the ujian 1, kan? Ingat kan? We ask you dalam ujian 1. Ramai tak boleh jawab sebab nampak 42 slides, baca satu-satu memang susah lah. Try to focus on important points, and this is the most important point for this topic. So you focus on this. Try to understand the process in this Jablonski diagram. Okay, baca, try to understand. You still have question? Ask me through Putra Blast. Okay, ini simple ya, it's very simple. What else? Luminescence dah. Mass spec. Okay, mass spec ni, it looks complicated. It looks complicated sebab you can see all this fragmentation kan. Share screen dulu. All this fragmentation. Basically, I'll tell you lah. Okay, if you have a molecule, you can cut the molecule anyway. You potong sana, potong sini, boleh. Potong sana, potong sini, tak apa. Boleh. Tapi ada dua je. Yang masa you potong, you kena ikut certain rule. First is alpha cleavage. Second is McLaughlin rearrangement. Maknanya apa? Maknanya kalau you ada CO double bond, carbonyl, you kena ikut rule ni. Itu je. Kalau tak ada CO, you boleh potong mana-mana. As long as masa you potong tu, you dapatkan mass yang kita sebut. Macam ujian 2 kan? 224, 222 dengan 43 or 49. You draw the molecule. Okay. After drawing the molecule, you try to cut the molecule sampai you dapatkan nombor yang saya sebut dalam soalan. Okay. Potong mana-mana pun boleh. Potong sini, potong sana boleh. Make sure you dapatkan nombor yang ada dalam soalan. Tetapi kalau you ada CO double bond, you tak boleh potong suka hati. The way you cut, you have to follow 2 rules. First is alpha cleavage. Second is McLaughlin rearrangement. If the molecule is more than 3 carbons. Kalau dia panjang. Tapi kalau setakat ada CO, lepas tu ada 2 atom je, 2 carbon atom. So McLaughlin rearrangement tak ada lah. You just follow alpha cleavage. So 99 slides ni, you can condense them. You can condense them into 1 slide. First is if you don't have CO double bond, you don't have carbonyl, you can cut anywhere. As long as you get the number that is stated in the question. Potong je mana-mana. But if you have CO double bond, you follow the rule. Alpha cleavage, and if it's more than 3 carbon, you follow McLaughlin arrangement. Itu je, one slide. Faham okay. Right. Ini cara kerja lah. Bacalah sikit. Bacalah sikit. Ini penting. You kena faham how the mass spec works. Ini ada sikit je, tak banyak. You boleh baca. How the machine detects the different masses. Dia punya principle is macam ni lah. Basically, the molecule is broken into fragments, and each fragment will go to the detector with different speed. Yang kecil tu dia sampai lagi cepat, yang besar tu dia lambatlah sampai. And so that's the principle, how the machine works. Ada dua jenis ionization, electron ionization and chemical ionization. Ini isotopes, isotopes. Okay. So in test 2, I asked you about M+2. Ramai yang tak boleh jawab. Ramai yang tak boleh jawab, even though I dah put hints. I put hints that hint. Ramai yang tak baca hint. Ada hint dia. Hint dia apa? Hint dia bromine ada isotopes. M and M+2. Bromine. So careful 79 dengan 81. Itulah kenapa macam bromine ni dia ada dua molekul ion dekat belakang. M122 dalam untuk case ni and 124 untuk 81. So try to remember interpreting mass spectrum yang lain-lain ni as I mentioned to you, you can cut anywhere. Anywhere you can cut, except CO. CO you can ikut rule. So, senang kalau kita dah condense macam tu, 99 slide actually can be condensed into 2 atau 3 slide sahaja. Okay? 2 atau 3 slide sahaja. Alpha cleavage, McLaughlin arrangement, you kena baca lah macam mana mekanisme dia. Untuk case yang macam mana kita kena gunakan McLaughlin arrangement. Kalau dia punya carbon dia panjang, then kita buat McLaughlin rearrangement. Okay, faham So it's not as complicated as you imagine. After we condense into important points, then okay, so you can focus on this. Baca semua memang pengsan lah. Nak baca each of this slide. Okay, alright. Faham Okay, what else? Mass spec dah. NMR. Okay, untuk NMR, satu je yang saya nak you all buat. Buat balik tutorial tu. Buat balik tutorial tu. And then, ini. Alright. Buat balik tutorial, a lot of tutorial I give you about NMR, and you need to understand sebab ramai yang tak tahu spin splitting tu apa. I'm quite shocked yang tak tahu spin splitting tu apa. Test 2, ujian 2. Spin splitting tu yang tu lah, yang doublet, triplet. itulah spin splitting. Integral itu size, ya, size puncak tu. It gives you information about the number of hydrogen yang you ada. Macam CH3, dia punya integral 3. Ya. CH2, dia punya integral 2. CH, dia punya integral 1. Spin splitting is jiran dia. Ya. Jiran dia, jiran sebelah kiri, sebelah kanan. Ya. That's spin splitting. Doublet, triplet, and everything. Ya. And again, as I mentioned on Tuesday, kalau you tak ingat, doublet, triplet, quartet, you letak nombor je. 2 puncak, 3 puncak, 4 puncak. I understand. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. You can still get full mark. Yeah. Sebab bahasa ni, I don't want you, just because you don't remember the term, quartet semua, all this Latin term, and then you hesitate to answer. Actually, you faham konsep dia kan? Just you lupa apa dia punya istilah tu kan? It's okay. Yeah. Ada yang jawab, 1-2 student dia jawab macam tu, I give the student full mark. Ya, 4 puncak, 5 puncak, 7 puncak, that's okay. Okay, as long as you understand the concept. What spin splitting means. So ini, ya. So all this ada 100 lebih slides, NMR, ada NMR 1, 2, 3, including carbon NMR. This is the conclusion. You understand this, you can answer the question. Yeah. So basically untuk NMR, you just focus on the tutorial. You buat balik. Yeah. About theory, I think not much lah. Yeah, about theory, but you just need to understand how the machine works. Macam ni. Mana. Ni lah. Yeah. So you understand this. Alright. 2 slide, 16 dengan 17. Yeah. You understand the principle. Yeah. And then ni slide 80. And then you buat balik tutorial. Yeah, the spectrum, how to translate the spectrum into structure. Okay. Nah, itu NMR, Itu NMR. Any question? No, Okay. NMR dah, MS dah, luminescence dah, IR dah, UV phase. Okay, UV phase kita tak ada tutorial. Maknanya apa? Teori. Ini Dr. Rashidi suka ni, UV phase. Teori, okay. Alright, teori dia. Yang ni. Ya. You kena faham ni. Pi star and pi star, we discussed this many times in the class, Yeah, remember, right? We discussed many times. What electronic transition happen for UV phase? Yeah. Yang ni. Okay. Pi star, mostly pi star lah. Yeah. Lepas tu ada forbidden, betul tak? Mana forbidden? Tak ada. Forbidden. Yeah. Kenapa dia forbidden? Yeah. N tu pi star. Right? So inilah yang apa, if I'm not mistaken, we ask you during test 1. During the type of the type of transition. Okay. And then what is the difference between IR and UV phase? Yeah. Apa beza IR dan UV phase? Beza dia, IR, this is about stretching and bending. IR, ya, sebab energi dia lagi rendah. UV phase, dia energi dia lagi tinggi. So it's about electronic transition. Yeah, it's about electronic transition. So again, IR is about stretching and bending. It's about molecular vibration. The molecule is vibrate. But UV phase is not about molecular vibration. It's about electron transition. It's about electron transition. N to pi star or pi to pi star. Yeah, N to pi star or pi to pi star. But N to pi star is forbidden. Yeah. So mostly the signal comes from mana tadi? From pi to pi star. Yeah. Okay, so itu UV phase ya. UV phase kita tak ada tutorial, so maknanya teori ya. Lambert-Bees law memang kena faham ya. Ini pun kita tanya ya masa ujian 1 dan ujian 1 ya, kita tanya ya. Ini kena faham ya. Factors affecting UV phase absorption ya. Apa sahaja yang dia boleh memberi impact pada spectrum, ya, chromophore, oxochrome, effect of substituent, degree of conjugation, and the solvent. Again, tak ada tutorial, ya, maknanya teori. Ya, pay attention to that. Okay. Alright, so that's UV phase. Ada dalam satu UV phase ni about Woodward-Fisher rule. Ada kan? Itu tak payah. Mana? Ini tak perlu. Ini tak perlu. Ini tak perlu. It's a bit complicated. Ini tak, you all tak payah baca lah. Ini you baca ya, quantitative analysis using UV phase spectrophotometer, sebab kita ada buat dalam amali. Calibration standard method and standard addition. So you have to understand that. Okay, so that's UV phase. Any question? Stop lagi ya. Oh, X-ray. X-ray pun kita tak ada tutorial maknanya teori ya. So all about theory. So what you need to understand is this process. Wait, this process. This process. Yeah. You need to understand. Even yesterday during Amali, your demo already explained to you about this. Yeah. Very detailed explanation about X-ray. So you need to understand this process. Yeah. Apa yang berlaku? Kenapa you boleh dapat apa K line, L line, M line, dan kenapa you dapat apa puncak yang panjang ni, dan kenapa ada continuous radiation?
Doktor.
Yes.
Doktor ada share screen ke? Tak nampak.
Oh, lama. Sorry. Alright, okay, this one. Yeah. Ini yang you kena baca lah. So all this process, kenapa you dapat signal, how you get the X-ray signal through this process lah. How to get the K lines, K alpha, K beta, ya, dan kenapa ada karakteristik radiation yang tajam ni, puncak yang tajam ni, dan kenapa ada puncak yang macam bukit ni. So why that happened? So basically everything is my lecture notes lah. Yang puncak macam ni kita panggil as continuum X-ray, ya. Tapi selalunya kita tak gunakan. Yang kita gunakan selalunya yang tajam, puncak yang tajam ni, because these peaks will tell us what element we have in our sample. Ya. Tapi yang puncak macam bukit ni selalu kita tak guna lah. And you saw that in yesterday's Amali as well. Puncak-puncak yang kita nampak dalam spektrum, puncak-puncak yang tajam kan, kita tak tengoklah puncak-puncak yang macam ni. So that's why masa in the machine we can choose just to observe the line spectra, but we don't observe the continuum spectra. And then what else? Ini very simple lah. You baca the equation, you don't have to memorize. Ya. Tak payah nak ingat lah this equation. Ya. Sebab the equation will be given to you. Ya. Ini kena baca component, instruments. Ya. Macam mana kita nak generate X-ray. Ya. Ini kena tahu. Sebab again tutorial tak ada, so teori yang kena faham. Macam mana nak generate X-ray. So basically ada 3 cara lah kita nak generate X-ray. X-ray tube, lampu dia macam mana, kita nak menjana X-ray tu. You need to understand. What else? Detector, sample, XRD, X-ray diffraction. Ini pun dia kena baca lah. Ini yang kita buat semalam. Ini yang kita buat semalam. Nanti masa you tulis report, you sambil baca lah. So you understand the principle of XRD. Alright. So that's X-ray lah. So basically you need to understand how the machine works, how the light is generated, how the signal is obtained, yang proses tadi yang ada elektron, yang ni, you need to understand this, and also XRD. XRD you baca masa you tulis report lah. Alright, so that's X-ray. You all tulis nota kan? You ambil kan? I hope so. SEMTEM sama je. Kita tak ada tutorial, so maknanya teori lah. So basically you have to know the difference between SEM and TEM. SEM and TEM. Basically the difference is SEM kita nampak surface je. TEM kita nampak dalam. Kalau you susah sangat nak ingat je S is surface. Okay. So this is TEM. Kita nampak dalam. Dia boleh tembus sampai dalam. Senang je. T tembus. Dia punya cahaya tu dia tembus sampai dalam. Dia tembus sampai dalam. Kita boleh nampak apa yang ada dekat dalam. So ini semua TEM lah. Ini TEM.
Doktor tak share screen.
Alamak. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Alright. So SEM and TEM, SEM and TEM, If you want to know the difference, S is surface, TEM is kita nampak yang dalam. Ini TEM lah, kita nampak yang dalam-dalam. This is TEM, transmission. And then this is apa? SEM. Kita nampak surface. Kita nampak surface. This is SEM. Kita nampak surface. So when you are given a picture, and by seeing a picture macam ni, you have to know terus kena tahu ini SEM. Sebab kita nampak surface dia, kita nampak 3D surface, tapi kita tak nampak dalam dia. But if you are given the picture like this, you terus nampak, this is TEM. Sebab kita nampak internal organ dia, dalam dia. Macam mana nak bezakan SEM dengan TEM? Again, TEM tembus. Dia kita boleh nampak dalam. S is surface. Alright. And another thing that you need to know is, what else? Ni. Backscattered electron tu apa, auger electrons tu apa, secondary electrons tu apa. You need to read. Okay. because this is the basis of SEM and TEM. Inilah perbezaan SEM dan TEM is from here. Alright. Berapa jauh cahaya tu dia nak masuk dalam sampel. Okay. So inilah yang membezakan SEM dengan TEM. Alright. So backscattered electron tu apa? Backscattered electron tu dia dari belakang lah. So that's the reason why apa? Mana ada? Inilah. Yeah, this is the secondary electron. This is backscattered electron, and this actually affects the quality of the picture. Yeah. So SE produce higher resolution image than BSE. Yeah, SE ni yang dekat bawah lah. This is secondary electron. BSE ni yang dekat atas, backscattered electron. Yeah, so dia dekat atas ni. So you will observe a higher resolution. Inilah proses dia. Alright, ini proses dia. So why macam BSE has lower resolution than SE? This is the reason why. Yeah. Dia kena pusing belakang dulu before hitting the electron. But secondary electron, it hits the electron right away. Okay. Inilah beza dia, SEM dengan TEM. Yeah. So you kena faham. Okay. Itu yang you kena focus when you study this topic. What else? TEM, SEM dah. Last kali apa? Raman. Raman basically simple je. Raman is whatever you cannot observe in IR, you can observe in Raman. Yeah. Itu je. Okay. And why? You need to pay attention to this slide. Rayleigh scatter tu apa? Anti-Stokes Raman scatter tu apa? Stokes Raman scatter tu apa? Pay attention to this. Rayleigh scatter ni in normal spectroscopy. Energi yang kita ambil for excitation is the same as the energy that is released when the electron comes back to ground state. But Raman lain. Energi yang kita ambil masa elektron naik dengan masa elektron turun dia lain. So that's why it's not called as normal scattering. Normal scattering is Rayleigh scattering. This one. It's elastic. Random direction of emission and little energy loss. Tak ada energi yang hilang. Tak ada energi yang hilang. Tapi untuk Raman ada energi yang hilang. Between excitation and scattered, there is an energy gap. There is a energy gap. And this is something that you need to read in this part. Apa beza Rayleigh dengan anti-Stokes and Stokes-Raman. Itu je. The rest yang lain-lain tu contoh lah. Macam ni kan, macam Raman and Fraud ni okey lah, ini contoh lah, just for your information. Exam pun kita takkan tanya pun contoh-contoh ni, tapi you kena faham the principle of Raman. Apa yang membezakan Raman ni dengan other spectroscopic method? Beza dia dekat sini lah. This is the difference between Raman and non-Raman spectroscopic method. Okay, that's Raman, and then what else? Zirconichroism kita tak tanya. Basically zirconichroism ini just for your knowledge lah. Extra knowledge. Tapi kita tak tanya sebab dalam lab kimia pun jarang digunakan. Jarang, unless if you're working with protein, big molecule, yes, you use Raman, DNA, RNA, yes, but most chemists they don't use zirconichroism. So zirconichroism kita tak tanya lah. Okay, that's all. Any question? So you dah tahu macam mana nak how to focus your study. I understand you are taking many subjects this semester, so I'm trying to help you lah to sharpen your focus. Yeah? Don't get overwhelmed by hundreds of pages of lecture notes. Try to condense them. Ya, so lepas ni baca, buat summary. Ya, buat summary, alright, and then you read the summary based on what I explained to you today. Ya. Okay, kalau tak ada soalan, that's all for today. I'll see you during final exam. Kita buat physical ya, dah tak ada online sekarang. Kita buat physical. Please check the exam hall, ya, the time, ya. Close book, ya. Dah tak ada dah open book ya, close book. And that's all. Yeah, so thank you very much. I'll see you during final exam. All the best and Assalamualaikum. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Doctor.
Doctor.